Imagine this: two people deeply attracted to each other, sharing an intimate moment. Yet one of them walks away feeling unsatisfied, disconnected, or confused about what just happened. And here's the surprising part. In most cases, it's not about experience, confidence, or even physical ability. It comes down to one simple mistake that many men make without even realizing it. A mistake that can quietly sabotage intimacy, reduce pleasure for both partners, and create frustration in relationships. The good news: once you understand it, it's completely fixable. And correcting this one habit can dramatically improve intimacy, communication, and satisfaction for both partners. Let's talk about what that mistake is and how you can avoid it. What if the biggest reason many men struggle in intimate moments has nothing to do with skill, stamina, or experience? What if the real problem is something far more subtle, something most men were never taught to recognize? For many people, intimacy has been shaped by unrealistic expectations. Movies, online content, and cultural myths often send the message that intimacy is about performing, impressing, or proving something. This creates a silent pressure where men feel they must constantly deliver instead of simply being present. The moment intimacy turns into a performance, the focus shifts away from the most important part of the experience: connection. Think about what happens when someone feels like they're on stage. Their mind starts racing. Am I doing this right? Am I good enough? Am I lasting long enough? Instead of being fully present with their partner, they become trapped in their own head. Anxiety replaces confidence, and attention shifts away from the shared experience. When that happens, the moment stops feeling natural and starts feeling mechanical. The truth is that genuine intimacy doesn't thrive under pressure. It thrives under comfort, trust, and emotional awareness. Now imagine a completely different approach. Instead of trying to impress, the focus shifts toward understanding and connection. Instead of worrying about performance, attention goes to the other person in the moment, their comfort, their reactions, their energy. This small shift changes everything. Connection grows when both partners feel seen, valued, and emotionally present with each other. It's not about showing off or following a script. It's about sharing an experience where both people feel relaxed and engaged. Many men are surprised to learn that confidence in intimate moments often increases when they stop trying to control everything. When the pressure to perform disappears, natural confidence begins to take its place. Conversations become easier. Body language becomes more relaxed. The experience becomes less about reaching a specific goal and more about enjoying the time together. This kind of mindset removes the invisible barrier that performance pressure creates. Another important part of connection is emotional awareness. People often underestimate how powerful emotional presence can be. When someone feels emotionally safe and understood, their level of comfort increases dramatically. That sense of comfort strengthens trust and allows intimacy to develop naturally rather than feeling forced. When two people are emotionally engaged with each other, the experience becomes deeper, more meaningful, and far more satisfying. There is also a surprising psychological effect when the focus shifts away from performance. The mind relaxes. Instead of constantly analyzing every moment, the brain becomes more present and responsive. This allows both partners to enjoy the experience instead of worrying about expectations. When someone feels relaxed and connected, they naturally become more attentive to their partner's needs and responses. This shift from performing to connecting is one of the most powerful mindset changes anyone can make in relationships. It removes pressure, strengthens communication, and allows intimacy to become something authentic rather than something staged. When connection becomes the priority, confidence grows naturally, comfort increases, and the experience becomes something both partners genuinely enjoy. Have you ever wondered why some people seem naturally confident in intimate moments, while others constantly feel pressure, doubt, or anxiety? Many assume the difference is experience, technique, or physical ability. But what if the real secret is something much simpler and far more powerful? What if true confidence has nothing to do with being perfect at all? One of the biggest misconceptions about intimacy is the belief that everything needs to be flawless. Many men grow up thinking they must perform perfectly, avoid mistakes, and somehow always know exactly what their partner wants without being told. This idea sounds convincing, but it creates an enormous amount of pressure. The moment someone believes they must be perfect, their mind begins to overanalyze every small detail. Instead of enjoying the experience, they start monitoring themselves constantly. Am I doing this right? Am I taking too long? Am I doing enough? These thoughts pull attention away from the present moment and replace it with self-evaluation. When the mind becomes busy with judgment and worry, confidence begins to disappear. The experience starts feeling stressful rather than natural. Now consider a different perspective. Real confidence does not come from trying to avoid every mistake. Real confidence comes from being comfortable with the moment as it unfolds. When someone is fully present, mentally and emotionally, they stop trying to control everything. Their focus shifts toward the connection they are sharing rather than their own internal pressure. Presence allows people to notice subtle details they might otherwise miss. Body language, facial expressions, breathing patterns, and emotional energy all communicate important information, and these signals are much easier to notice when the mind is calm and attentive. Presence also creates authenticity. When someone is relaxed and genuinely engaged, their behavior becomes more natural and less rehearsed. Instead of acting according to an imagined standard of perfection, they respond honestly to the situation in front of them. This authenticity is something people can feel immediately. A partner often senses when someone is fully present versus when someone is distracted by their own thoughts. That sense of genuine attention can make a huge difference in how comfortable and connected both people feel. Another fascinating aspect of presence is how it changes the brain's response to stress. When someone stops obsessing over performance, the nervous system begins to relax. Heart rate slows, breathing becomes more steady, and the mind becomes clearer. This relaxed state allows a person to respond naturally instead of reacting from anxiety. Ironically, the moment someone stops chasing perfection is often the moment they begin to feel more confident than ever before. Presence also encourages curiosity rather than pressure. Instead of thinking about whether something is good enough, the focus becomes understanding the shared experience. Curiosity allows people to explore what feels natural and comfortable for both partners. It transforms the situation from a test that must be passed into an experience that can be discovered together. Many people overlook how powerful simple attention can be. When someone feels truly noticed and valued, their sense of comfort grows dramatically. That comfort builds trust, and trust strengthens connection. Confidence grows in environments where people feel relaxed enough to be themselves rather than trying to live up to unrealistic expectations. The shift from perfection to presence removes pressure, strengthens emotional awareness, and creates space for a far more genuine and meaningful experience. What if one simple habit could instantly reduce anxiety, eliminate confusion, and dramatically improve intimacy between partners? What if the difference between frustration and satisfaction often comes down to something incredibly basic, something many couples rarely practice? The answer is communication. It may sound simple, but communication is one of the most powerful and overlooked factors in healthy intimacy. Many people assume they should automatically know what their partner wants or needs, and when that expectation isn't met, uncertainty begins to grow. For many men, this silent guessing game creates enormous pressure. They may believe they are expected to figure everything out on their own without asking questions. This belief can lead to hesitation and self-doubt because they are constantly trying to read signals while hoping they interpret them correctly. Imagine trying to solve a puzzle without seeing all the pieces. That's exactly what intimacy can feel like when communication is missing. Now consider the opposite scenario. Instead of guessing, partners feel comfortable expressing what they enjoy, what makes them comfortable, and what helps them feel connected. Suddenly, the uncertainty disappears. Clear communication transforms the experience from a confusing guessing game into a shared conversation. Both people gain a better understanding of each other, which builds confidence and trust over time. Many people worry that talking about intimacy might feel awkward or ruin the mood, but the reality is often the opposite. When communication is respectful and open, it actually strengthens the emotional bond between partners. It sends a powerful message. Your comfort and experience matter to me. That level of care and attentiveness creates a sense of emotional safety, and emotional safety is one of the strongest foundations for genuine intimacy. Communication also allows partners to express appreciation and encouragement. Positive feedback can reinforce what feels good and what works well for both people. When someone hears that their partner enjoys something they are doing, it naturally boosts confidence. Instead of wondering whether they are doing something right, they receive clear reassurance that builds trust in the moment. Another important aspect of communication is listening. Many people think communication only means talking, but listening is just as important. When someone truly listens to their partner's thoughts, preferences, and feelings, it creates a deeper level of understanding. This understanding allows both partners to respond more thoughtfully and respectfully to each other's needs. Open communication also reduces the likelihood of misunderstandings. Without conversation, people often make assumptions that may not be accurate. One partner might believe the other prefers something when, in reality, they simply never discussed it. These misunderstandings can create unnecessary frustration. Clear conversation removes those assumptions and replaces them with clarity. Over time, couples who practice open communication often develop stronger emotional and physical connections. They become more comfortable discussing sensitive topics, sharing preferences, and supporting each other's well-being. This openness builds a level of trust that allows intimacy to grow naturally rather than feeling forced or uncertain. When communication becomes a normal part of a relationship, the pressure to figure everything out alone disappears. Instead of guessing, partners collaborate. Instead of worrying about making mistakes, they learn together. This shared understanding strengthens confidence, deepens emotional connection, and creates a more relaxed and supportive environment where both people feel heard, respected, and valued. What if the biggest reason intimacy sometimes feels rushed, disconnected, or unsatisfying is simply because people are moving too fast? What if slowing down, something that sounds almost too simple, could completely transform the experience for both partners? In a world that constantly pushes speed and instant results, many people unknowingly carry that same mindset into their relationships. Everything becomes about reaching an outcome as quickly as possible rather than appreciating the journey itself. Many men grow up believing that intimacy has a specific timeline. They feel pressure to move quickly, achieve certain milestones, and reach a particular endpoint. This belief often comes from unrealistic portrayals in media, where intimacy is shown as fast-paced and goal-driven. But real human connection doesn't follow a stopwatch. When things move too quickly, the body and mind often don't have enough time to fully relax, connect, and respond to the moment. Think about how powerful anticipation can be in everyday life. Whether it's waiting for good news, preparing for an exciting event, or building up to an important moment, anticipation creates emotional intensity. The same principle applies to intimacy. When people slow down and allow moments to develop naturally, they create space for anticipation to grow. That anticipation strengthens attraction and emotional engagement between partners. Slowing down also helps both people become more aware of what's happening in the moment. When things move too quickly, important signals are often missed. Body language, subtle reactions, and emotional cues can easily go unnoticed when someone is rushing toward an end goal. But when the pace becomes slower and more intentional, it becomes easier to notice how a partner is responding. This awareness allows people to adjust, respond, and create a more comfortable experience for both sides. Another powerful benefit of slowing down is how it affects the mind and body. When someone feels rushed, their brain often shifts into a state of pressure and performance. The nervous system becomes more alert, breathing may become shallow, and the body can feel tense. These physical reactions make it harder to relax and enjoy the moment. Slowing down signals to the brain that there is no rush and no threat. Breathing becomes steadier, muscles relax, and the mind becomes more present. This relaxed state makes intimacy feel more natural rather than mechanical. Instead of moving through steps automatically, partners begin to engage with each other in a more thoughtful way. Small gestures, eye contact, and shared attention become more meaningful because they are not being skipped or rushed past. Slowing down also strengthens emotional connection. When partners give each other time and attention, it communicates respect and care. It shows that the moment itself matters, not just the final outcome. That sense of patience helps both people feel valued and comfortable, which deepens trust in the relationship. Many people discover that when they remove the pressure to move quickly, the entire experience becomes more enjoyable. The focus shifts from racing toward a destination to appreciating each stage of the journey. Each moment becomes an opportunity to build connection, strengthen communication, and understand each other better. When intimacy is approached with patience and awareness, it creates a completely different atmosphere. Instead of feeling rushed or pressured, both partners feel relaxed enough to be present with each other. The experience becomes more balanced, more connected, and far more meaningful because it allows space for comfort, trust, anticipation, and genuine emotional engagement to grow naturally between two people. Have you ever wondered why some partners seem incredibly attentive and in tune with the person they're with, while others feel disconnected or unaware of what their partner is experiencing? What if one of the most powerful skills in intimacy isn't something complicated at all, but simply the ability to pay attention? Many people underestimate how much information their partner is communicating without saying a single word. Human beings constantly express emotions, comfort, excitement, and hesitation through subtle signals. Yet these signals are often missed when someone is distracted or focused only on their own thoughts. Think about how much communication happens without words in everyday life. A smile can show happiness, crossed arms can signal discomfort, and eye contact can communicate interest or connection. The same principles apply during intimate moments. Body language, breathing patterns, facial expressions, and physical responses all reveal important information about how someone is feeling. When a partner pays attention to these signals, they gain a much deeper understanding of what is happening in the moment. One reason these signals are often overlooked is because many people are too focused on their own internal pressure. They might be worrying about whether they are doing things correctly or thinking about what they should do next. When the mind is filled with self-evaluation, it becomes harder to notice the reactions happening right in front of them. Attention becomes divided, and subtle cues from a partner can easily go unnoticed. Now imagine what happens when someone shifts their focus outward instead of inward. Instead of constantly evaluating themselves, they become curious about their partner's experience. They notice when their partner seems relaxed or when their energy changes. They observe the small reactions that reveal comfort, enjoyment, or hesitation. This kind of attentiveness creates a much more responsive interaction because it allows someone to adapt naturally to what their partner is experiencing. Being attentive also communicates care. When someone realizes their partner is paying attention to their reactions and responding to them, it creates a powerful sense of validation. It sends the message that their feelings matter and that their comfort is important. This level of attention helps build emotional safety, which is essential for genuine connection. When people feel emotionally safe, they are more likely to relax and fully engage in the moment. Another important aspect of paying attention is recognizing that everyone is different. What feels comfortable or enjoyable for one person may not be the same for another. Observing a partner's signals allows someone to understand their unique responses rather than relying on assumptions. This awareness prevents misunderstandings and helps partners adjust their behavior in ways that support each other's comfort. Attention also strengthens communication without always needing words. While verbal communication is important, body language often provides immediate feedback. When someone notices these cues and responds thoughtfully, it creates a natural flow in the interaction. Both partners begin to feel more synchronized because their reactions are being acknowledged and respected. Over time, this habit of attentiveness builds stronger emotional and physical connections. Partners who consistently pay attention to each other develop a deeper level of understanding. They become more aware of each other's needs, preferences, and comfort levels. This awareness allows them to respond with empathy and care rather than guessing or assuming. When attention becomes a priority, intimacy transforms into a shared experience where both partners feel noticed and valued. Instead of focusing only on their own actions, a person becomes more aware of the connection they are building with someone else. That awareness strengthens trust, improves communication, and creates an environment where both partners feel comfortable expressing themselves and responding naturally to each other's signals. What does real confidence actually look like in intimate moments? Is it loud, dominant, and focused on proving something? Or is it quieter, calmer, and built on genuine care for the person you're with? Many people grow up believing confidence is about ego, about showing strength, control, or superiority. But when it comes to healthy intimacy and strong relationships, the truth is very different. The kind of confidence that creates meaningful connection isn't driven by ego at all. It's driven by care, awareness, and respect. Think about the difference between someone who is trying to impress and someone who is trying to understand. When someone is focused only on impressing their partner, their attention often turns inward. They begin thinking about how they look, how they're performing, and whether they are meeting some imagined standard. That constant self-focus creates pressure, and pressure rarely leads to genuine confidence. In fact, the more someone tries to prove themselves, the more insecure they may begin to feel. Now imagine a different mindset. Instead of trying to prove anything, the focus shifts toward the other person's comfort and experience. When someone genuinely cares about their partner's well-being, their actions become more thoughtful and attentive. They listen more carefully. They notice subtle changes in body language or mood. They respond with patience instead of rushing. This kind of attentiveness communicates something powerful: respect. And respect naturally builds trust between partners. Care-based confidence is quiet but incredibly strong. It doesn't need to show off or dominate the moment. Instead, it creates a relaxed environment where both people feel comfortable being themselves. When someone feels that their partner truly cares about their comfort and feelings, their level of emotional safety increases. Emotional safety is one of the most important ingredients in any close relationship. Without it, people often feel guarded or hesitant. With it, they feel free to express themselves honestly. Another important aspect of care-driven confidence is humility. Humility doesn't mean lacking confidence. It means understanding that intimacy is a shared experience where both partners contribute. Instead of assuming they must control everything, a confident partner remains open to learning and adapting. They understand that everyone has different preferences and comfort levels. By remaining curious and respectful, they create space for both partners to communicate openly about what works best for them. Care also changes the emotional tone of the experience. When ego drives behavior, interactions can sometimes feel competitive or one-sided. But when care becomes the priority, the atmosphere shifts toward cooperation and mutual support. Both partners begin to feel like they are part of the same team, working together to create a positive and comfortable experience. This mindset also reduces anxiety. When someone stops trying to protect their ego, they no longer fear small mistakes or misunderstandings. Instead of feeling embarrassed or defensive, they become more willing to communicate and adjust. This openness allows relationships to grow stronger over time because both partners feel safe expressing their needs and preferences. Care-driven confidence also creates consistency. Someone who values their partner's comfort will show that respect not only in intimate moments, but throughout the relationship. They listen during conversations, show patience during disagreements, and demonstrate empathy when their partner is stressed or vulnerable. These actions build a strong emotional foundation that supports long-term trust and connection. When confidence grows from care rather than ego, it becomes something far more meaningful. It is not about proving strength or superiority, but about creating an environment where both people feel valued, respected, and understood. This type of confidence strengthens emotional bonds, encourages honest communication, and allows intimacy to develop naturally through trust, attentiveness, and genuine concern for each other's well-being.